Good morning, vloggy vlog. It is 10:19 a.m. Can you see that? I'm just getting up now. My Rue baby is flapping his wings. It is snowing out there. Like, I have 5 inches of snow just on my windowsill, and it looks like there's a lot of snow. Last night I had to go all through my garage because we have some storage in the garage and get this humidifier because it was so dry, guys. That helped me immensely. I just felt like my eyes were just so dry. My nose was like dry. I was like, ugh. So once I got that, I was like sleeping like a baby. Yeah, so it was a good sleep. I feel like it was a good sleep. I'm gonna get up here now. My parents typically go to church on Sunday, but church is canceled today because there's like that much snow. So they're here today, so I'm gonna go downstairs and I'm going to say good morning to them and probably hang out with them for a little bit, or I don't really know, get ready, obviously get ready, eat, and do that kind of stuff, right, Rue? Yeah, so that's gonna be the plan, Rue baby. I feel like it'd be fun to kind of go outside in the snow though, so maybe we'll like go for a walk, or I might help my dad shovel because there's a lot of snow, and typically he just does it, but there's a lot of snow. So we will see. Yeah, so I don't really know. That's all. We'll see what I don't know what today's gonna hold. But Rue is about to go in the hall. He's so excited to go in the hall, right, Rue? He's looking at me like, hello. Rue, you can't go out in the snow. It would not work for you. It's not a good look for you. He's like looking up like, I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna go start my day and I'll be back in a little bit once I get ready, once I get ready and after I do a little bit with my day, and we'll see what actually ends up happening today. Hello vloggy vlog. It is 1:31. And I'm outside enjoying the snow, but also trying to shovel. No, my dad's doing the snow blowing. I just thought, I was like, oh, I'll help do the shoveling. I'm just a girl. Like, this is almost 2 feet of snow. I'm like 5'4", 118 pounds. Like, I did a little bit of it and I was like, God, I'm not made for this. I am not made for this. Lifting that heavy of stuff. I haven't even been moving out of my bed for much of this year. I haven't done a lot of working out. I'm like, yeah, anyway, so I'm doing my best. But thankfully my dad is a snowblower and we're just kind of all helping out because there's so much snow. But it's so beautiful. Look at how beautiful it is. So beautiful. But it's, oh yeah, it's so lovely. I really do love the snow, even though there's so much of it. Anyways, this morning's been good. We had a little brunch. Yeah, it's been nice. My parents are home from church. They didn't go to church today because it was canceled, so that's nice to just have them here. I think in a little bit we're gonna go out and do a Tim's run. My dad loves driving in snow, so we're gonna do that, and then probably just like come back and chill. So that's been my day so far. Nothing too crazy, but just super snowy. So I might try to do a little bit more here, but I actually made a way. Here, I'll take you with me for a second. I made a little pathway for the squirrels to our door. That's all I could do. It's like, guys, look at this. Look at how much, look at how much, can you see this? How do I show this? Look at how much snow. So much. Crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna go out front and see if my parents
need any help, probably, because I don't think I'm gonna get much more further than this. So anyways, I'll see you guys in a little beat when the rest of my day commences. Hello, vloggy vlog. Okay, today's been like a busy and eventful day, so let's talk about it. In like a good way, but also like it's been interesting. So I'm feeling exhausted right now. It is, what is it? Hold on. Un momento, por favor. 11:39 p.m. and I'm just unwinding for the evening. I have a headache the size of, well, it's actually not that bad, I'm not gonna be dramatic, but I have a headache and you just feel like tired. That's me, and my nose is like running, so I'm like hoping this is just I'm tired. Maybe it's a little bit of like allergies with like the cold and whatever, because we got a lot, like we got, where I am, we have about almost 2 feet of snow that came like today, like crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get this kind of like over with, this little check-in, and then get to sleep, because I just like want to shut my eyes and get some sleep. So anyways, so I was helping shovel, but then like I realized, no girl, you don't need to do that. I'm literally a small girl, and I have not been doing a lot of physical activity the past year, so it's just like not wise to be picking up like a foot of snow shoveling. Like, I no. Anyways, so honestly, if I'm being real, after that, as like an only child in a household where like my dad typically does like all the outside stuff and like heavy lifting and things like that. He's a builder, he likes to do that kind of stuff, so he's more active, and so it's just like what he's done. Like, he's done that kind of thing in my life for pretty much my whole life. So I'm kind of you know, I'm the youngest one in the house right now, so I'm like, I should be the strongest, I should be able to do this, like my dad shouldn't even have to like do all of it, you know. And I was starting to kind of like beat myself up, if I'm being honest. I was like, man, I just like want to be the man, like I want to like help out, you know, but I know my limits. I've been always like a person pretty much who knows my, especially my physical limits. If I can't do something, I'm like, I'm not doing it. And people will be like, you should push through. I'm like, no, I'm not. I can't do it. I'll just deal with the consequences. If I can't show up, if I can't do something, I'm just like, I can't do this, you know. And so I was kind of beating myself up, honestly, in my head. Like, I had to just be like, no, it's okay, you can't do this, and that's okay. Like, it's good that you didn't, because I could have probably honestly hurt myself and then caused more of a headache for the day, you know. I just knew. Anyway, so I was kind of like beating myself up about that a little bit. And then me and my mom watched a movie. We watched both of the Enola Holmes movies on Netflix. I love those movies. They're so good. Like, I'm always someone who watches like the production, the videography, the creative style, the writing style, the acting themselves, and I just feel like those movies are so good, and it was so awesome just like watch them. We like binged both of them. My dad watched the second one with us this evening, but in between the second one, like we watched a bit of the first one, and then we were gonna go for a drive to go to Tim Hortons. And yes, we went to Tim Hortons even when it is like a lot of snow. Like, I'm talking about a lot of snow, and we were just going out in a car, not even like a truck or anything, although this car is really good in the snow. Anywho, so we were driving, and I kid you not, on the way back we got stuck in the snow. We're not in the ditch, no one hit us. We were trying to go through this like really small little right turn, and there was just so much snow there that like just like we were just stuck there. So then like a bunch of people came to like help us, which was like so nice. Like, I live in a very nice like area, like really, like people are so generous and like kind here, like genuinely. Okay, like they'll just help you. Like, they're not just like, what's that person's problem. Like, there was literally like one, like probably like 6 people helping us, which was like so nice. So anyways, my dad was gonna get out of the car. My mom even got out of the car for a second, just to like watch and help direct kind of what was going on. And I just was like, I'm just gonna stay in the car, because like there's a lot of people out there. And so I was staying in the car, and also just like my dad was driving, trying to get it out of the snow. And the car has I forget what it's called, like traction or tread control or something, so that you don't like skid or whatever, or like it just helps you grip. And so this was we had to like really gun it to get it out of this like snow pile, but we couldn't with the track control on because it was trying to do its thing and help us not, it was trying to like latch onto the snow and we needed it to slide through the snow, you know? So my dad's like, oh, how do we turn this off? And it's a high stress situation, you know? So my dad's like, how do we like turn this off? We need to figure out how to turn it off. And he doesn't know how. So I'm like, well, I'll just look up on Google. I'm sure there's an answer. So I looked up the model of the car and whatever. And then I was like, oh, it just says like right here on the dashboard, you just press this button. So we pressed that button and then we're able to get out of it. We were able to get out and like people were still helping. We needed their help, but like that key piece was needed to get this car out of this little trough it was in. And God really spoke to me through that. And he was like, Ezra Lee, every little thing matters. Every little gifting that you have matters. And I'm not someone who's like physically the strongest. Once again, I am 5'4", 5'3", 5'4", and I'm about like 118 pounds, give or take. And like I'm a small girl, and even just like my hands, people have commented like, you have such small hands. Like I am a small person. Physically speaking, they're like, I can't do like, I'm strong, I'm capable, but like especially when you've had a year of like not doing a lot and kind of going through a lot of emotional things, it's like it's tough. And what I do best is mental and emotional lifting. That's what I do best. I'm like, I will help you lift your heavy emotional stuff, even mental, like I'll work through deep stuff, but I'm like, I'm not the most strong in like the physical, like the brawny, like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this. I'm like, I can have a fun, but like I'm not that way. And I think I've always been so insecure about that side of me because a lot of people around me were just so like strong and like athletic and they were outdoorsy, and I'm just like, I want to do that, but like I'm an inside like emotional, smart, more so like brainy. I like to think, I like to study, I like to learn. Like that's more me. And I can do the fun things sometimes outside and do all that, but I like do that sometimes, not all the time. And I just was realizing like my strengths and my weaknesses, and even my family's, my parents strengths, my parents weaknesses, like my like people. I think it's beautiful to notice what our strengths and weaknesses are so that we can like excel in them. And that was just like something that really encouraged me, even though it was kind of like a stressful situation, being like, how are we gonna get this car out, you know? But it just showed me the importance, and I want to encourage you, like the importance of owning your strengths and talents and abilities, because even afterwards my parents were kind of flustered, and I love to comfort people. I love to emotionally see what they need and like take care of them, and I'm really good at that. And so especially after this past year of what I've gone through, like I just love being there for people as best as I can, especially in person. And I haven't been able to do that for a while because Abba's been really like, Ezra Lee, I want you to let others serve you this past year because you need help. And so I'm just so looking forward to like comforting more and more people in person again when the time is right, because it's just so awesome. And even today, like being able to, like, I just reassured my parents once like both kind of got back into the car and everything. I just kind of like tapped them on the back and I was like, it's okay, like we're gonna be good, like it's all good, it's all behind us now. And just kind of like trying to just keep the atmosphere high and like not let it get too discouraging, or just, you know, it can be tough or stressful, right? And it was just really cool that like I had that moment of like, God, true, like there's some things where I know my limits and there's other things where I'm like, I'm really good at this, like I'm really good at just thinking, okay, well, like what's the, if someone's like, hey, we need to figure this out, I'm like, okay, well, like I'll figure out, I want to know the solution, there has to be a way that we can find this, and then like helping people find that solution. Like I love that in high stress situations. I'm like, let's go party people, you know? And so I just think it's really cool, and I really learned that today, and that was interesting. But yeah, we got stuck in the snow. We did get our Tim Hortons, but we got stuck in the snow. There was a lot of snow. Anyway, and so that was really cool. I just feel like that was a lesson that I personally needed, because this past year, honestly, the past few months, not even a year, probably only like under 6 months, I've been really learning what it means in my identity as a daughter of Abba, my Heavenly Father, and just who I personally am and my strengths and my weaknesses. And today I really just saw that, like a weakness and a strength, and how like God just like lets other people be strong in areas that I'm weaker in, and that like works when you like don't have to do everything alone. And it's actually interesting because Enola Holmes, those movies, her name backwards literally means alone. And it's kind of that theme in the movies of like she wants to do everything on her own, but then she starts to find the people around her that like are gonna be with her and stuff like that. And I just like that was just a day today of God being like, you have weaknesses, other people have weaknesses, but you have strengths and other people have strengths, and just reiterating that for me. And it was just really cool. I was really encouraged by that. But then we watched the other Enola Holmes thing, and then we watched like 3 or 4 episodes of like a show on TV. I want to start watching Corner Gas. I think that's gonna be a funny show. We watched like a little clip of it tonight. I've watched a few episodes over the years, but I think I want to like get into that show. It was so funny what we started watching tonight. I was like, that's my kind of comedy, at least what I saw. It was hilarious. I love small town comedy. Anyway, so that was my night, but then I started to get a really bad headache. And I just kind of, yeah, I think it could just be like tired, but I just feel like I need to go to sleep. And also the couches that we have downstairs are not comfortable, and I've been sitting in them since like from 2 till like 11. So like I think that just like does something for my neck, because they're just like not comfortable. Anyway, so thankful we have couches. They're just like not the most comfy. I want those like big fluffy couches that you just like sink in and you're just like lounging. These are kind of like leather and like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Anyway, so that could be it. I don't even know what it is, and I don't need to know what it is. And then tonight, literally, do you ever get like this? If you have like health anxiety or you're getting over health anxiety, I'm getting over health anxiety. I'm starting to become less worried about my health, but I also know that that's something that I'm gifted with, to like know what people need for their health. Like I just study things and then like, oh, if someone's dealing with this, like they should take this, or oh yeah, if they have this symptom, like they should really try removing this out of their systems. Like I just like to study that kind of stuff. But I honestly think that being a bit more like cautious, or even wanting to know and thinking through like, hey, like what is going on in this situation can be very helpful. It just can also be a little toxic if you overthink it and you especially get into like this anxious place with your health. But anyways, tonight I was looking at a post, and oh my goodness, this person was like, I can't believe for 4 years cancer was growing in me and I didn't even know. And then someone else in the comments was like, yeah, like when I was 25 I had like a stroke or something. And I just like caught myself and I was like, I'm not even reading that comment of how this person was like, this is how I knew like the things I had before my stroke. Like I'm like, I don't need to read that, because I could just feel, if I read that my mind was going to be like, well, who's to say that's not happening in your life? And even right before I started to record this, I started to think like, oh, what if that's what I'm having? Like my head's hurting, like I've been feeling weird the past week, like what if my body's like deteriorating, and like my stomach has felt weird for like literally 2 weeks now, and I'm just like, what is going on? And so I'm choosing to not worry, and I'm choosing to just like, whenever I think about it, give it to God, because I'm not letting that fear control my life, but I'm gonna feel the feelings and like give it to God and just be like, hey, I can eat, I can drink, I can sleep, there's no creepy like blood and like bad things, so we're gonna be fine. We're just gonna let the body do what the body does. And I honestly think, for me, the whole Valentine's Day thing leading up to it, there's been a lot of grief I've been feeling, and my stomach, when I'm going through grief, gets this feeling that like, I've never understood emotional eating until I was feeling this whole grief thing that I've been going through, and it makes you feel hungry when you're not hungry. And I've realized that, and I'm like, no, like I don't even think I'm actually hungry right now. I think I'm just like feeling deep emotions of grief, so then I have to work at like expressing that out in a healthy way, and even praying it out or processing it out, or maybe like creatively expressing it out. But I do think that that's contributed to my gut well-being the past little bit, because I just think there's been a lot of just like grief in the back of my mind that I'm just like not even maybe processing or like needing to process, but it's just kind of like there, and it makes my stomach feel weird. Anyways, maybe that's for you to ask God to show you or process through. Are you like grieving something? Because grief really affects a lot, and you're gonna go through grief like the rest of your life. But God is with you in that, and He's been with me in any of the grief that I've gone through, and He'll be with you guys, you know, as well. So take heart in that. But yeah, overall it's been a good day. Tomorrow is Family Day in Canada, so like a lot of places aren't open. It's kind of like a holiday, so I'm gonna be hanging out with my family. It's really snowy, so I don't know if we're gonna like drive anywhere tomorrow. Not a lot of places are open. We'll probably do like a classic Tim's run, but the wind is gonna pick up tonight and into tomorrow and into Tuesday. And if you don't have snow where you are, when you get a lot of snow, like I'm talking like 2 feet basically almost of snow, and then you have wind in the country, yeah, that makes for an eventful time, because then what starts to happen, if the wind is in the right direction, you start to get black ice. And then the snowbanks put the snow onto the road and cover the black ice, and then you want to know what? You can't see the black ice. And if you've ever driven over black ice, I know I have, it's a time. You're just holding on to the wheel and you're just like, well, I'm just gonna slide, pump the brake a little, but do not, and I mean do not slam the brakes, or else you will fishtail, and then, especially if you have certain cars, just a little heads up if you're ever driving in the snow and you're like, I don't know what to do. You pump the brake slightly, and honestly on black ice, I personally you just gotta steer, go slow, hope for the best, and hope it's just a short stretch of black ice, or else pray, and we'll just take one step at a time. Because yeah, it is wild. You just gotta go super slow. And some people around here, they do not go slow in the snow. They're driving like we're flipping Fast and Furious, and it's like, honey, it is not Fast and Furious weather, okay? This is where we need a little bit more caution, okay? Because people are just like whoosh, and you're like, okay, do you understand? With snow, you can't stop quickly. Hello. It's like a grandma, like, slow down, sonny. Like, that's literally me. Like, we don't need to. I drive the speed limit, and actually, no, I shouldn't. I've never gotten a ticket. I've been in a couple accidents that were not my fault. Other people rear-ended me, and that's fun. I think I've been in 2. I've had 2 accidents where people have rear-ended me. Thankfully, it wasn't my fault, but those were interesting. But one thing that I literally can't even remember right now, because my brain feels so tired, but I wanted to mention this one thing about driving. About driving in snow? Was it driving in snow? Was it talking about driving in snow? Driving in snow. Rear-ending. Driving. I don't even know what I was saying, but I was talking about driving. Okay. This must be a sign. It's like, I gotta go to bed, because my brain's like, I don't really want to remember right now. I just want to go to sleep. Oh goodness. Okay. Well, anyway, whatever. When the silent laugh comes out, you know it's real. Look at his neck. Oh my god, I love this thing. You're so cute. I look over, he's just like... Oh, that's good. Good luck me remembering now whatever I was gonna say, because that... that was good. I don't even remember what I was gonna say, so I guess it's just fine. We'll just leave it. But yes, people in driving, and they just don't. Oh, what I was gonna say is, no, I've not had a speeding ticket, but on the highway, there's a lot of times where I'm going a little over the speed limit. Me trying to be like, I'm reckless, even though people are like going like 20, 40 over the speed limit. I'm like, I go like 10. You gotta match the highway, because if you're going like exactly the limit and then everyone's going like 10 over, you're just gonna slow people down and it gets more dangerous. You just gotta follow the flow. That's me. I follow the flow. And I realized, I'm gonna just share this with you guys, I realized tonight I just genuinely love to go with the flow. And I think, thank you, Father, for helping me remember this. I think actually some of you need to hear this. True leaders follow the flow, but they set the tone within that flow while they follow in humility, and they're just kind of themselves, and they don't need to just take charge all the time. They know when to take charge and they know when to follow. And that is something the Holy Spirit has shown me, and like just shaping me as the leader that I know He's calling me to be in just life. that I'm like, God, I love to follow, like even down to the point of tonight we're watching TV, right? And I don't like to have the clicker. I don't want the clicker. And I'd actually rather not drive. I'd rather just like provide the entertainment, the ambiance. I'd rather just have like a good time and be in the driver's seat, or just be in the room and someone else can have the controller. I'm like, you can have it. It like actually, I'm like, I just like don't want that. Like I just want to, you know. And I would always be like, God, you're calling me to be like a leader, but I love to follow like the flow mainly. Like I don't want to really stand out, even though I just like do being myself. I sometimes just stand out. But here's what I want to encourage you. Leaders know when to follow and they know when to lead. So when there's lacking in direction, I'm fantabulous at being like, hey, I think we should do this. And I can just be decisive. I'm a very decisive person, like 95% of the time. There's obviously a few times where I'm like, I don't know. But typically I'm like, no, like I can easily make a decision. But I love to follow. Like I'm just like, I want to follow, unless it's like if someone's like, hey, you should do this, and I'm like, that's against what God's putting on my heart to do, then I do not follow. But I just want to encourage you that it's not just like being a leader is not just being a dictator and taking control and like dictating. It's actually like letting other people set the tone too sometimes, you know, and knowing when it's time to take the lead and when it's honestly time to just sit in the back and let somebody else shine, because you know that like we can all shine together, you know. And that's something that the Holy Spirit's really been teaching me, because I think leadership is taught, that's like, I'm very passionate about leadership, and leadership is like, you need to have direction, you need to teach, and you need to be sure that you're instructing. And I just see leadership as serving. Like if someone's like the highest leader, in my opinion, they should be the greatest servant, because that's what the Bible says. And so I think that it's so beautiful that if God's called you to leadership, then you're probably going to be serving a lot. If you're dictating, then God did not put you in that position. You put yourself there, or Satan kind of led you there. So yeah, my bird's like, preach it, sister. So anyway, just a little tidbit. I feel like someone's going to need that. Also, just another little thing before I go here. I almost called Rue Ezra Lee. I'm Ezra Lee. You're Rue. So Rue's going through a pre-spring molt, which is, it feels kind of early, but I guess it's gonna be this week, the 20th of February, and then we're into March. So like, I guess it's not like that early. But he's going through a bit of a molt, which means they lose like their winter feathers and get their like spring feathers. And so he's going through a molt right now. He's lost like 3 of his main like wing feathers on the one side of his wing. And so like he can't really, like he can fly, but it's kind of like a little uneven. Yeah, Rue. And so there's like so many like little downy feathers like in the hall and stuff like that he like chills. He goes out there and walks, you know, out there and plays in his little jungle gym that I have out there for him. And there's so many like little feathers there. He's definitely going through a mold. So they can get more tired. They can be a little bit more grouchy because they're like losing feathers. Oh, Rue, this is just a goose. Rue, I mean, it's a swan. It's okay. Rue does not like my swan. Swan. It's okay. You are the real bird in my life. Rue's like hissing. I put my swan down on the bed. I never thought I'd say that. Put my swan down. Rue, it's okay. This bird will not replace you by any means, and it will not hurt you. I will keep it away from you. I'm sorry that it was a threat. You have a good sleep. No need to dream about scary black swans, because it's a nice swan. This swan is disrupting some things here. Rue was literally like, and he does that when he's like scared. So he's like, don't replace me, girl. Rue, you are irreplaceable. I do want to put my swan down though. So we're just gonna, it's just over here. No need to stress. Oh my goodness, Rue. Rue's like, he's looking at it like, we don't have other birds here. He's like, it's just you and me. Okay, this has almost been like a 30-minute update, so enjoy that. Guess there's things. Today felt like an eventful day. It really did. Anyway, I'm gonna skedaddle. I'm gonna go to bed and just unwind, and I'm gonna feel a lot better in the morning. Get some good sleep, and yeah, so I will see you guys in the morn, and we'll see what God has in store for another day.